Do our emotions like fear, anxiety, and embarrassment block emotions like joy, anger, and sadness? All of that and more is explored in the movie Inside Out 2, premiering 9 years after the original Pixar animation film. The sequel follows emotions that come to life as they navigate how to guide Riley, a teenage girl who's just entering that fun stage of puberty. Let's take a look.
What is that?
That's a sarcasm! It can open for miles! Run for your lives!
Sarcasm? Really?
Okay, Joy, if we can't follow the stream, we don't know where we're going. And if we don't know where we're going, we can't follow the stream. It is an endless loop of tragedy and consequence.
Or we could just ask those guys.
Oh, yeah, or that.
I'm playing Fear himself as the Emmy Award-winning actor known for his roles in Arrested Development and Veep. Tony Hale, thank you so much for joining us, coming back.
It's always nice to be back.
So we had Louis Black on, who played Anger first, right?
Yes.
And so I'm curious, because he did a good job of talking about anger that he lives every day. I'm curious, did you have any fear at all stepping into this role?
Well, I'm a huge fan of the first one, and I had a lot of reverence for it. So just stepping into that, I mean, it's such a powerful message of kind of, you know, having more compassion to your emotions, not trying to push them away. And so I was just really wanting to do a good job. But I came in and I said, hey, what's the difference between fear, because there's a new character, anxiety. What's the difference? And they said fear is a reaction to an actual threat, and anxiety is a perceived threat. Oh. And I was like, oh, that makes sense for me.
That's a good distinction for all of us.
I know.
There really is a difference.
Yes, and anxiety kind of, who's played by Maya Hawke, she kind of creates scenarios of like, what if this happens? She like escape plans. Whereas fear, like in there, that sarcasm, that's an actual threat. The ground just opened up, so he would freak out.
Now, people know you for your roles, as we just said there, Arrested Development, Veep. How different is it to actually go into a studio and play a role that you're not actually on screen for?
Yeah. It's at first it was a little intimidating because as a comic actor you use a lot of your physicality, and I just had the microphone, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do the same performance that I would do in front of the camera in front of the microphone. And then hopefully that energy would be conveyed. But on Veep, for instance, I wasn't even allowed to speak. You know, I mean, I just kind of stood behind her and was just, I could only emote. So, I mean, I couldn't even really use anything. So this, I just had a microphone, which was... But
how does it work? Because you do have the scenes where the different emotions are kind of working together, like anxiety and fear at the same time. So are you all in the same room?
No, we just met on this press meeting.
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, all the press tours. So, like, I had not met Louis, who plays Anger. And so we all met each other. And because the director, Kelsey Mann, he's the one who gives us the lines of all the different characters. So he's playing all the different rules, and we're just reacting off him. And then they magically put it all together. That's
fascinating.
Yeah.
And kind of surprising that they don't have you together, but what do I know? So curious, if this movie had come out when you were a child, what would have been maybe one of the more dominant emotions going on?
Oh, man. All the above. You even saying that, if it had come out of my child, I think it would be such a gift, because when I was a kid, we didn't even have language for anxiety. It was just kind of, there just felt like this like circus in my head of envy and all these things. And to have this movie just for kids to feel seen, but also parents and adults of anything, it's like, yeah, you know, like my daughter is 18, and there's a character on here called Ennui that she's really bored, and she's French, and she's, you know, and it's like, it's a part of the process. You know, as a parent, I wish maybe if I'd seen this, I maybe wouldn't have been like, get off the couch, let's do something. You know, it's a part of that teenage path. You know?
I think it's so interesting also that anxiety was a new ad, because it does feel like kids these days, I mean, it's probably something that we always had, but maybe didn't label, but it is something for sure that we talk about. But it feels like this storyline never goes out of style.
Never goes out of style. And especially, like, I mean, again, just that kind of scenario building where it's me as a teenager, it's like, why did that person say this? Does that mean this? Is that going to lead to this? And you just create these whole narratives that, you know, typically never happen. But in my mind, it's definitely happening.
Thank you so much for doing this and coming by our show to talk about it.
So fun.
Tony, we so appreciate you coming by. I want to let our viewers know that you can watch Inside Out 2 in theaters June 14th.